Hi everyone, I'm here to show you how to edit in the new ecosystem. The new course ecosystem is meant to be responsive so that students can view the courses on a mobile phone. Again, if you shrink it, you'll notice that you get a nicer shrink to it if you're on a phone. And I wanted to just show you some quick tips on how to edit. So first, you should see that up in the black bar here, you may have less choices than me, but you'll have a black bar at the top of your course to edit it, and your View, Edit, Outline, and Revisions tabs are up there in that menu. That just kind of made the page a little cleaner. When you're editing, you'll notice that the gray box that we saw on the home page is now gone. The reason for that is that for this particular course, and for all the courses, unfortunately, the editor that we use, CK Editor, which is this window, does not integrate with the style sheet, and that's just an unfortunate limitation of Drupal. I apologize. We do have ways for you to get content in here, however. So let me just go in really quickly. Brief review for those of you who already know this. The title of the course homepage will always show up as a heading 1. When you're putting a title heading into a page, you should not just make it bold. Instead, you should make it a heading 3. And the reason you make it a heading 3 and not a heading 2 is that heading 2s are reserved for accessibility reasons for menu items. So all the menu items are H2s. You would want to start with heading 3, and then you could go to heading 4, heading 5, heading 6, like that. So just a brief discussion of that. Now, what buttons can you use and what buttons shouldn't you use on this toolbar? Using the bold and italics are fine. You can use the underline button. We usually try to recommend that people stay away from that, mainly because it's reserved for links. It's fine to use the justification things. It does add some stuff to the code. If you find that you're doing a lot of that, you should contact me and we will add a style for you to the style sheet so that we can make that happen on the back end rather than putting it in every page. Bullets are fine. Numbering is fine. The indent button you should only use when you're doing a multi-level list. That's really the only time you would want to do that. The undo button is fine. Control Z is also fine. Redo is fine. Link is fine. Remove link is fine. Anchor is fine. Image is fine. Please try to avoid colored text or highlight background color stuff if at all possible. That adds a lot of kind of stuff to the code. We do have a highlight class for the GIS program. It's a blue. If you need a different color than the one that comes with your template, just let us know and we'll take care of that. Superscript and subscript, also fine. If you do want to indent some text, I'd recommend that you use the block quote functionality. That's a good way to indent some things, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Source code, it's also fine to look at the source code. In fact, if I click on source code here, you'll see this div class equals box note here. That just shows you where the gray is going to be. So everything inside this div is going to be box note. I'll click off of that. All of the copy and paste things are fine, as is the search and as is the eraser. So that's all good. Format is fine. Try to use the headings from here. I wouldn't use anything other than the headings and normal in there, but you know that's perfectly fine. Please avoid the font and size drop downs because those will add a lot of stuff to the code that will have to be undone later, as well as styles. Lots of these things are deprecated. These are code that inserts code that's actually not good for your page, so we try to avoid those. We do have some styles for code, and we can do that a couple of different ways. If you have any questions about that, you can absolutely let me know. These buttons are kind of rare for us to use. The table button you could use, but we have some table templates set up for you already, so that there shouldn't be a need to use it. Spell check is also fine. So let me show you about the templates. Templates is this button right here on your menu bar, and if you click it, you'll get a whole bunch of selections of things. Block quotes, highlighted text, tables of all different types. Let's say I enter a table, and look, it's already got 3 rows, 3 headings. If I need a new row, I just right click and say row, insert row after. Let's say I only need 2 columns. I'll say column, delete column, and it does it just fine. So use that right click to manage your table. We've made sure for accessibility purposes that all the code that needs to be in there is in there. Also, we've got a code for embedded videos and media. So if you're inserting something from YouTube, you would just insert that template and then go to your source code and then paste the I code right where it says paste the embed or iframe code here. So that's pretty easy as well. So I'll delete that. Everything in the templates field is named semantically. So you'll notice activities, required readings, optional readings. We did this for a very specific reason, because if a program decides that the optional readings are going to be gray and the required readings are going to be light blue, as long as they're in one of these semantically named tables, we can make one change to the style sheet and it'll fix all the pages in every course that uses that style sheet. And so you won't have to go back into the code on every single page and change it. So we've tried to think of everything that we possibly could think of. Again, I mentioned code like JavaScript or HTML. You can use this pre-formatted block of text and pre-formatted span of text to do that sort of thing. We also have a bibliography style. That's really nice. You don't have to make those list items anymore. You can just make them each a paragraph, and this style will take care of a hanging indent for you. And I can show you what that looks like as well. A note on images. Let me just go back up here. We've got three choices: image centered, image left, and image right. Image centered is really the only one you can use if there's an image with a caption and a credit line. And the reason for that is we can't put any sizes in the code anymore. So what we have to do is take care of it with this. So you see this entered it in. I'd go in, double click, I'd browse the server, put in the image, enter the alt text here. You want to make sure that you leave the width and height blank. If you put a width and a height in, it won't be responsive. If you leave it blank, then when somebody views it on a cell phone, it will work. So leave all the rest of that stuff done. Cancel that, and then you can enter your caption and your credit, and the whole formatting will be done for you. So that's kind of nice. You can still left justify or right justify an image. Same thing. Please don't put sizes in, and you should be fine as well there. So I'm anticipating if you're putting new images in, you'll likely just click on this template rather than the image thing. You can still use that image button. It's not going to hurt anything. It just won't have the styling, and you need to make sure that you don't have any sizes in there. So this is a really important thing. This is the content templates. So let me cancel out of here and show you one other thing. There's also a new way to hide content. We used to keep content in a hidden block that was kind of an extra menu down below. The problem with that was it didn't actually hide it from the search function in Drupal. It just hid it from the menu. So we have a better way of doing that now. It's called hidden nodes. And if you can see on the right hand side here, all of these lessons with a strike through, those are all hidden lessons. And what that means is they're hidden from the students. You can see them, but they're also hidden from search. So students can search through the content and they won't get anything that's not already open. So to hide an individual page, let's say you're adding a new page to your course, so you add a page to the book, and then you want to hide it while you're working on it. You slide down below the editing screen. There's a little area on the left here called Hide Content. If you just check that box, it will hide that page and the students will not be able to see it. And it'll be hidden from search, and then you can unhide it when you're ready to show it to the students. The other way to hide things is to hide a whole lesson. To do that, you go in the black bar at the top, Content, Books, and then you click on Edit Order and Titles beside the book that you want to deal with, which in this case is the course outline. And you can see in the outline designer that the hidden lessons are grayed down. You can't see them and they have a strike through. Whereas the lesson that's not hidden, and I can show you all the pages there, is bright colored and not strike through. To hide this whole lesson, all you do is click on the top level of the lesson, choose Hide Node, and then click Hide Content and Propagate Hidden Status. That just means hide everything below what I've done here. So it would hide the checklist, the introduction, etc. Now I'm not going to hide this because this is the first lesson and students are in there right now. Likewise, if I want to unhide content, let's say it's time to open lesson 2, click on this, click on Hide Node, and then you uncheck Hide Content, but you keep Propagate Hidden Status checked. The reason you do that is you want to propagate the unhiding of the content down the tree, and that will unhide everything at the same time for you. So pretty simple. That's pretty much it. If you end up needing a style that we haven't thought of, there's no template for it, you need something special, simply email Stevie and she will talk it through with you and we will try to get it added to the style sheet. That's it. Thanks.